AI is a new trend, and also like people from all over the world, they can work remotely. So is this two things impacting your business or not?
Saving money and then seeing how other businesses are also utilizing or joining the bandwagon of going remote.
Live like a CEO.
Welcome to another episode of Live Like a CEO. You already know that in this podcast, we invite C suite executives to talk about their business life, their personal life, and how they manage it, kind of things. And we also learn about many insights about running business, being CEO, being top executive kind of things. So today we have a very special guest. His name is Jason, founder of Get Visible. Also, he is the author. He published a book, I Need More Clients. Sounds very interesting to me. Also, he is a former CPA and attorney. So he has done many things in his life. And I'm just reading from his LinkedIn profile. He said, I help professionals, doctors, and business owners fix invisible websites and turn Google and AI channels into predictable client sources. So without further delay, I would like to say thank you very much and welcome to our podcast, Jason.
Hi, good to be here.
Thank you so much for joining. So, Jason, before going deep into all those questions, can you please tell our clients what service you provide, who is your target audience, and how do you provide the services?
Okay, so about 20 years ago, I was running an e-commerce business and I got a call from one of my first employees who said, why don't we start offering search engine optimization as a service? So I had a good Rolodex and we started an agency, worked for a year. We only talked at night because we both had day jobs. And once we had enough clients, he quit his day job and we started full force, first with search engine rankings on Google and Yahoo. And I knew Google pretty well because they were even my client in my e-commerce business and years earlier. So then we went from SEO to building WordPress websites. We joined an organization called Provisors, which got me in front of a lot of service providers. And then we started building a lot of websites for lawyers and consultants and accountants. And then every 2 years, we would hire another person and we would expand the service. So now it's rankings, it's AI visibility, it's managing ad campaigns, writing boatloads of content for LinkedIn, for social profiles, for blogs, doing LinkedIn outreach for clients to build their Rolodex and make them industry like thought leaders. So it's the whole gamut, whether it's building a social channel, managing ads, rankings, everything comes down to one thing. How do you get in front of the client that your clients are looking for? How do you establish like that you're better than other people, right? Mm-hmm. So it's getting in front of them with the right message, the right website, the right value proposition, all that kind of stuff.
Perfect. And dear audience, we are putting Jason's information, his email address, phone number, website, everything on the screen. So if you like to reach out to him for the service he provides, please reach out to him. He has a lot of experience. He said just 20 years of experience in this business. So he knows what he's talking about. So Jason, the AI is a new trend, and also like people from all over the world, they can work remotely. So is this two things impacting your business or not?
In a good way.
Oh, perfect.
The best thing was about 4 years ago not to pay rent anymore. So starting there, it's saving money and then seeing how other businesses are also utilizing or joining the bandwagon of going remote. So the bigger the business is, yes, you need people to come in, like the Amazon, stuff like that. But when you're small, you can be agile. People love the idea of not having to drive an hour a day in traffic. So what it did for us is it forced us to create systems so we could manage what we're doing for the clients remotely. So it actually made us a better organization because we use systems like Co-Amplify is one, ClickUp is another, they're much more than task management. They're more like task accountability, right? So you get to figure out what you're supposed to do and what, if it's getting done, does it make sense to do these things? So you're constantly evaluating. Now that AI is coming into the marketplace, it's sort of like a backseat driver, but a good one.
Good one.
So
Yeah.
it can actually evaluate what you're doing and help you discover gaps in your processes to do a better job. But the short answer about remote is it's very good because it enables us to hire people regardless of where they're located.
Hmm.
So we have that ability. So we're not limited to people that are in a geographic location.
Hmm.
And then for our clients, many of them are also remote, which doesn't really affect us. Doesn't matter where they're located. But it
Yeah.
just, I think from our end, it's just adapting both with software and with mindset.
Perfect, perfect. So, not a lot of people they're entrepreneur, but you are an entrepreneur and you have many degrees and many experiences. So, can you please tell for our audience what helped you being an entrepreneur? Like, is there somebody in your family, some incident, what made you an entrepreneur?
Back in fourth grade, when I grew up in Miami Beach, so there was not a kosher supermarket to buy kosher food. You could just either you relaxed the rules, not a good thing, or you found what you could find and that was it. And I had an aunt, a great aunt living in Brooklyn, and she used to send me kosher chewing gum, and I would sell it to my classmates in school when I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
So I remember Chappies. I don't even think they make it anymore.
Hmm.
Um, so I've always had the bug. My dad would tell us stories growing up when he was in the Bronx and he was 10 years old, and he would go shine shoes to earn a dime, but he couldn't go on one street corner because the Italians were there. So he had to go a block away
Hmm.
where they wouldn't beat him up, and he could shine shoes, and
Oh, I'm so sorry.
he would sell it for less than the Italians. Not that he
Hmm.
wasn't friends with the Italians. It was just that's the way the Bronx was back 80
Hmm.
years ago. And so we always had these stories. My mom's been in business for almost 50 years in Florida. So there's just a bug. Even though I went to law school, I was a CPA for a big firm. Like I've got the pedigree to
Hmm.
be a professional, but there's something exciting about building businesses.
Hmm.
And so as an agency, I get to do that for a lot of people without having to be the COO, running all these different businesses. But I get to, there's a certain amount of creative expression
Hmm.
in producing brands for people and coming up with strategy. And it's really like playing chess.
Just, yeah.
I was lucky. I learned how to play chess from a grandmaster. I'm terrible now, but as a kid, I wasn't bad. But like anything else, you got to put in 10,000 hours. I didn't want to do that. So I think that it's exciting to plan out moves ahead and solve the puzzle of how do you grow business.
Got it. And at what age you registered your first LLC or first business?
So the first business I had officially after law school was I started a magazine subscription service.
Mhm.
So we owned a bunch of different domains. I was doing Google SEO. I was doing SEO on Alta Vista before
Mhm.
Google. I was doing SEO on Yahoo to build our business. We never had big funding, and we were up against big businesses that had like $100 million in funding. And yet, if you typed in magazine subscription service, I was number one on Google. So we picked up clients like Nike. We had a lot of Hollywood studios. We worked with The Gap. We worked with big and small. We worked with tire chains all over the country, distributing magazines in their waiting rooms. And that helped me figure out how to do grassroots marketing, right? Shoestring budget marketing,
Yeah. Mhm.
right? So we bring that same mentality to the job that we have now. Even if we have a bigger budget, we're still thinking that we don't have the budget. So how are we scrappy?
Yeah.
Right? How do we extend that dollar? And even now, I don't know when the economy's ever been good that people thought I have money to spend.
Mhm.
So therefore, the mentality is let me stretch what I got.
Exactly. So a lot of entrepreneurs, when I talk to them, they want their kids, their children, to start business earlier, like at least register LLC and doing something so that they understand. So, according to you, what do you advise for, them? Like, should they start their children to start business in high school, middle school, or after college?
That's a good question. I think start it as early as you can. Why not start? As long as you're not requiring to expend a lot of capital, especially now with AI and with the ability. I mean, you can start an Etsy store in about 5 minutes. So just create something and sell it. You can start an information product immediately. You can teach people how to do things, and you can build an audience. So in a certain sense, there's two ways to look at building a business.
Mhm.
Either you build an audience or you spend money to buy the audience. So you start right there. So you can spend the money with advertising. You can spend the money by paying commissions to influencers and intermediaries,
Mhm.
or you can build a list and you can keep selling them your authority, right? So
Mhm.
it's like you can create videos. That's just the content side of what you fill up your list with. But it's very easy to follow a process now to create a sense of authority. You don't need a
Mhm.
college degree on LinkedIn to look
Mhm.
like you know what you're talking about,
Exactly.
right? So I'd say
Mhm.
the earlier the better.
Mhm.
I mean, the only trap is to think that your business defines you.
Mhm.
For some people it does, but for others, it's just a mechanism to go pay the bills,
Mhm.
right? Raise a
Yeah,
family,
yeah.
whatever it is. So you have to decide what your priorities in life are.
Mhm. Mhm. Do you, when you talk to your prospective clients, do you have any personal mechanism to understand what he or she is looking for from you? Like, I know everybody will say, I need this, this, this. That's very easy. But like, do you follow their action, their body language, their background, anything? Do you have any your personal way to understand client requirements?
Yeah, it's funny. I like Gestalt theory, even
Hmm.
though I'm not a psychologist or anything like that, but my wife is. And when I think we were dating, maybe we got married so quickly, I can't remember if there was a dating period, but we once went to a Gestalt event where the person taught you that you could watch people, how they sit, how they fidget, how they move around, and you can read them. So
Hmm.
I'm always a fan of reading people in a certain level. But honestly, I don't use any of that in understanding what a client needs. I have something now that we built in ChatGPT. I can
Hmm.
use it in any engine, but it is a way of figuring out what the client needs.
Hmm.
Because often what they need is they need money, they need leads,
Hmm.
they need sales. But what they don't know is how they're going to get there and how to make it a predictable journey. So what
Hmm.
we do is we have a a deep dive into a client's business to look at
Hmm.
them, not necessarily them, but to look at their clients and their prospects and their referral channels, like their
Hmm.
intermediaries, to figure out why would anyone want to do business with them,
Hmm.
right? So it's why would they need them, number one, and why would they need them as opposed to somebody else? So once you start building an assessment of what we call needs and desires,
Hmm.
then you can figure out all the messaging that correlates to that. Because if you know someone has a need or a pain point as a marketing term, then you
Hmm.
can write content around that pain point. And then you can write content around the solution to the pain. And then
Hmm.
why your solution is better than someone else's solution, why they should believe what you're saying.
Hmm.
And then you have the value proposition of what it costs and why it's
Exactly.
worth it, right? So all that
Hmm.
stuff is tied in to having a very deep understanding of your client, how they are perceived in the marketplace, how they want to be perceived, how they perceive themselves. There's a lot of psychology in business.
Hmm. Yeah, I tell that too. Like, understanding client is really, really important for business. And psychology is a great tool to understand many things.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, Jason, we'll talk more with you about your personal life and business life kind of thing. But before that, we're going to take a very short break. Please stay with us. And dear audience, please stay like 30 seconds. We'll be right back.
Live like a CEO.
Starting a podcast or looking to make yours more powerful? Make sure it's heard, not lost in the noise. Managing recording, editing, publishing, and promotion can be overwhelming. That's where Kulna Technologies' 360-degree podcast service comes in. We handle everything from recording to producing to publishing, so your podcast always sounds top tier. You focus on the message, while we repurpose, stream, and promote it across every platform. Want a true 360-degree podcast service without the tech stress? Launch your podcast with Kulna Tech today and let your voice reach the world.
Live like a CEO.
Welcome back to our podcast. We are talking with Jason. He's the founder of Get Visible. He's also an author. He published a book called I Need More Clients. We'll definitely learn more about that book at the end of this podcast. He's also a former CPA and attorney. So, Jason, do you have any personal hobby that really help you getting successful in your business?
Yeah. I mean, I don't sleep much, so I have a lot of time to play with things. So first of all, I read a lot. So, and my reading is not typical.
Mm-hmm.
So it's first of all, because I keep Sabbath, I have a lot of time to read when I'm not using the computer or phones or stuff like that, because I'm up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. Synagogue is not till 8:30, so I have a few hours to knock out some reading. So beyond reading novels for fun or reading biographies just to learn from people. So I think that informs my ability to, or my desire to just do things. But I create a lot of things. I just have a lot of energy. So now it's AI things. So creating applications, creating custom GPTs to do a better job, I even have a thing for therapy. So it's called You Today, You Tomorrow. So you can go and have a chat conversation about some roadblock, and it will help you figure out a plan to overcome the roadblock. So creating things like that are fun for me. I mean, when I was a kid, it was playing violin. I don't do that anymore. So,
Okay.
right.
And how that help you in your business? All these things.
Well, because essentially everything is about, I mean, a lot of it comes down to psychology. It's understanding what drivers are, what makes people want to work with me versus somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing for my clients. So I think, for example, my wife always says I share too much, but I think that is what makes people know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that in a service business, which we're in, there's a reason we have clients for over a decade, right? There is a sense of connectedness, right? Connection. So I think that the more I read, the more I understand things about the world, maybe enough to have good conversations with people that they say, I want to talk to him. He knows things, right? Or at least he may not know things, but he knows how to listen and understand things. So it helps me to be a very good advisor. Especially if I'm not emotionally charged by something and I can sort of look at things more rationally.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that my understanding from people is that I'm useful, which is what people want to be, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
yeah. So when I talk to entrepreneurs and C-section executives, I see two kinds of people. One, they call it work-life balance. They want to keep it separate, like a business and work is totally separate. And another one is like a work-life harmony, like they mix and match with each other. Which group you belong and why?
oh, definitely harmony, but imbalanced harmony.
Okay, can you
Like
put
I
it?
think if you think that you have balance in your life, that's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Right, to me, because I don't think that exists. And I don't think that anymore there is such a thing as work-life bifurcation. I think they're all connected because it's what we call back of the card. So front of the card is your job. The back of the card is everything else about you. And I think a lot more when you're in a service business, the expectation is that you know how to do the front of the card. The back of the card is why I would choose to give you my money versus somebody else, right? So I think that the back of the card is extremely important, and that still means I'm going to posting on my Facebook account or my LinkedIn that might be personal and it might be business in the same place, because I don't see why they wouldn't be connected to me, right? I already have technically work-life balance because I don't work on the Sabbath, right?
Okay,
So I'm already forced one day a week to, we call it 24/6. So for 6 days a week, you got me 24 hours, unless I'm sleeping. But otherwise, that's my balance. It's Friday night, Saturday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very powerful. Yeah, thank you. So can you please tell us one lesson that you learned from your business operation, business life, that you successfully applied in your personal life and got some sort of benefit?
Oh, this is too funny. It took me 28 years to figure out I should ask my wife to do things for me. So now she makes all the appointments. She follows up on the things that are just, it's not that I can't do them. It's just there are headaches for me. And since she doesn't have a 9 to 5 like formal job, and she's okay to do it. It's no different than me. I don't want to use the word delegating, but it's basically having someone else do something that I could do, but maybe it's okay if someone else does that. I don't want to say I shouldn't do it, but it's okay that I can give it to someone else. So I'm not a micromanager by any means. I don't want to be. The whole point of hiring people is so you don't have to do the work. So I'm not saying you should get married so you don't have to make phone calls. But I realize that she's okay to do things that I don't want to do, and that's okay. I should ask for it. So, yeah.
Thank you. And the opposite thing, have you learned a single lesson from your personal life that you successfully applied in your business life?
Yeah, the listening factor is to. There's a guy that I knew for a long time until he passed away, but he was one of the top psychiatrists in the world, and one of his specialties was putting married couples back together. That was his thing. He was on TV a lot for that, and he said that often men will cheat on their wives, not because they go to a better looking woman, but because they go to a woman that validates them.
Exactly.
Makes them feel like a man should feel, right? Whatever that means. So, but the reverse of that is to validate your wife, right? Validate your spouse. It goes both ways. So that means to be a better listener. And I'm not saying I'm good at it. At least I'm aware. So once in a while, I can overcome my desire not to listen and focus on my own head. But I could be a better listener. So I think that helps me with my team to empower them more than empowering me.
Got it. Yeah. So we are at the end of the podcast. At this stage, we would like to know more about your book. So the book, I Need More Clients. Can you please tell us where our audience will find this book? And can you please tell us like 3 things that they will learn by reading this book?
Sure. So the book is on Amazon. It's the simplest place to put a book. There's a few books that we've put out under that same, I need more clients, I need more leads, I need more patients for doctors. They're all the same thing. But I'm not even going to say 3 things. What you're going to learn is a system called the 6 Ps. And this book was written 10 years ago. It's still, the whole point was meant to be an evergreen system that would take old school marketing and put it into a digital universe. The principles are still the same. So if you follow the 6P system, it tells you how to present an offer, how to package it. I'm not going to give all the 6. You got to go read the book. But the point is if you follow the recipe, you have ingredients on how to be an authority and perceived as a leader. One of the pieces is promote yourself. So it's in there. So you learn how to create the messaging and the content. You learn how to package it. You learn how to promote it. So you learn how to get it out there. So if you follow that system, and you don't have to do the work yourself, you can hire people to do it. That's the whole point. But at least you understand what the recipe is.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jason, for joining this morning. You have a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you. Good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you. Yeah.
Live like a CEO.